Hello, thank you for taking time to view this presentation, and we'd like to take the opportunity of introducing ourselves and to provide some background information regarding the project and how you at the Quarter House and the Book Festival may assist. Later in the year, we understand you're organising the Folkestone Book Festival at the Quarter House, and we'd like you to consider including our book and movie as part of the festival. Ben, tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name's Ben Shockley. I'm an actor, writer, producer, sometimes director. I was born in Hythe. I've lived in places such as London and Bristol, and in 2013 I moved back to Folkestone. And the idea came about Dan Hawke when I went into Butty's Sandwich Bar in Folkestone and met up with Clayton and his daughter Sophie. And we were a bit frustrated and thought, let's make a feature film set locally using local actors mainly and locations as well. And the idea was that we'd come up with a story about someone who used to work and live in Folkestone, went away, then came back, a bit like myself, I suppose. So then we toyed around with some ideas and decided that it should be a detective.
When did you start to develop the story?
Well, I guess I probably started writing it about 2018. I've just come off another independent feature film called The Blazing Cannons, which was a really enjoyable experience. There wasn't much on the horizon, to tell you the truth. And then when we went and I spoke to Clayton and Sophie, that's when the idea came about. I got through about 8 drafts, I guess, of the script. Came up with something that I was really happy with eventually. And then I literally put it on social media, and someone I'd worked with years ago called Steve Thomas, who is a tutor at Folkestone College, at the Edge College, said, well, why don't we make the film through the college? You get your film made, and the students here get really valuable experience on an independent film set.
So you found actually making a movie in Folkestone a lot easier than you may have thought it was going to be.
Well, definitely. I mean, I had no plan really apart from writing the script, and then I thought, well, what do we do? Just get like a film on a phone, or just a cheap camera and film it over a long period of time. But then, when, as I said, when Folkestone College came on board, things really started moving at that point.
So, without any spoilers, can you tell us something about the story?
Well, basically it's about a guy who was a detective in Folkestone. Something happens to him in his personal life and he decides to move away. Fast forward several years, in the meantime he'd become a writer. He's on a book tour around the country, and someone has donned the guise of his most famous creation and is killing someone off in each town that he's doing the book tour in. Of course, the police suddenly think, is it me that's doing it? So they come and speak to my character, decide it isn't me, and decide to reinstate me onto the force to help them with the case.
So, you're the scriptwriter, the producer, actor in the process, and Debbie, how do you two know each other?
We met at the Hythe Food and Drink Festival in Holmes Field. Was part of the King Elvises, and I was working behind the bar pulling pints. But my usual job is as a freelance genealogist, and I'm also a writer.
So, what did you think about the challenge of turning a script into a book?
It's very different because it's usually done the other way. And of course, when you make a film out of a book, you are normally cutting large chunks out. I found myself putting large chunks in. But that in itself has been great fun. And I feel that Folkestone is a character in the book.
And have you seen the movie?
I haven't. I decided I wouldn't because I felt it might put me off if I was to see it in its entirety. So I have seen trailers.
Okay, so Ben, I understand the next stage really is for the film and crew to see the film which is something that very often happens in making of movies. And then after that, it's about how we actually take it then to a wider audience. And I guess that's really where the Quarterhouse comes into the scenario. Obviously, with the book festival, it is something a little bit different, I suppose, in that it would give the opportunity of people to actually to read the book, to purchase the book, either from the Quarterhouse or from Amazon or perhaps from one of the bookshops opposite, and then to book a ticket to come and actually see the movie. From my perspective, I think one of the exciting things about it is actually how it promotes Folkestone. And tell me a little bit more about how that comes about and what Folkestone's contribution was to the subject.
Well, I wrote the script very much within a certain budget. I didn't want it, hordes of people running down the hill, stuff like that, things we couldn't get. So I wrote it with locations kind of in mind. I mean, the farm, I didn't know what farm we were going to use originally, and a couple of other things. I didn't know what pub we were going to film in. But so I did it within a budget and made sure it was very easy to get to locations from Folkestone. I think the furthest location we did was in Densall, which is where the farm is. But most of it is around Folkestone, and it was all locations that we got for free, basically. We filmed quite a few scenes at not my house, my girlfriend's house. Better get that right. So we filmed it there, and I even devised this plot idea that my inspector at the police station didn't want us to be at the police station to start with. He didn't want to see me and didn't want us to be there. So we decided to set up like an incident room in the spare room of where I lived. So that sort of helped, the plot, and it helped cutting down costs of using, something that looked like a police station, basically, an interior of a police station, which would probably cost a lot of money. So it was very, very well, very much in budget. Myself and my fellow producers, which is Clayton and also the college, we were very aware that we had to cut things. I think the most expensive thing we had to hire was a police car.
Yeah.
Everything else, people were cool. I was calling in favours. Loads of people, were doing this partly to help out getting the film made, really.
And the actors and actresses, where do they come from? Are they mostly Folkestone people?
Yeah, a good majority are from Folkestone, people I'd met before. I was Kent Film Office, and also Screen South helped get some extras for me for one time. We actually filmed a scene. I've just remembered this. We actually filmed a scene in the lobby of the Quarterhouse. We were filming in Payers Park, and we needed a scene in an interior scene. So we went in and chatted to people at the theatre, and they allowed us to film.
Excellent. So the idea really is, as I say, is for people to buy the book, come and see the movie, and then at the end of the movie there will be an opportunity then for the audience to ask questions of the scriptwriter, the producer, the director, the actors, and also the author of the book. Which I think is pretty novel. I think for a book event it'd be something very different, very exciting, very much a Folkestone story, and we would really look forward to hopefully the Quarterhouse getting behind this project. And we hopefully can have further discussions.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, thank you very much for coming along, and let's see how we take this to the next step. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
She's not here.
This is your psychic nonsense again, isn't it?
Becky,
I don't blame you for what happened.
you're looking for a bit of redemption now by writing books.
Which may or may not have had people killed.
It would be a bit stupid of me to kill people in the same town I was doing my book signings in, wouldn't it? That's me.
There was nothing here.
You bastard.
Except a seaside view. There was nothing, nothing, nothing.
I am he, I am thee, or something?
That's a quote from the books.
Are you sure it's not a ghost?
Nothing, 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 so I disappeared.
Sometimes size does matter.